Okay, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
I want to introduce you to my friend Paige. This is Paige from Array Home Organization. And thank you guys so much for signing up for the 5-day de-stress, detox, and declutter. And as you know, 100% of the donations will go to True Rescue. And Paige is here because she is a professional home organization person.
I'm the declutter part.
Yeah, she's an expert at decluttering and organizing. And I truly believe that decluttering is a practice in self-care. So all of the challenges are always about, practicing self-care. And I believe it's just an extension of the yoga off the mat concept, is really just taking it out of your kitchen and off of your yoga mat and into your life. Well, actually into your kitchen now, but I mean, out of your kitchen as far as, your food and your eating, but organizing it. And that takes a little time, takes a little effort. So we're going to do it together here today. And Paige is going to help us do that. So I guess the best place to maybe start is just talk about what some of the benefits you see. I know, like, as I mentioned, I'm a DIY person. I do decluttering all the time. But you help people do that. And when you help people do that, you go into their homes and help them declutter. What are the kinds of things that happen then for them? The benefits.
Well,
the positive side effect.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah.
Like Karen, I am also a registered health coach, and I truly believe that clutter is chaos for your brain, and being able to declutter and create organized spaces and systems that work for you and your family just help everything run smoother and helps me breathe easier and be able to tackle regular life things. But I help clients. I go in and help them make decisions. Sometimes it's hard to know what to let go of, and sometimes people just need their hands held and a friend there with them to help them. And one of the first things we do, which Karen and I have already done, is whatever space you're working on, and I encourage you to start on a small space so as to not overwhelm yourself. We're trying to de-stress you, not create more stress. So when I think of the holidays, I think of baking, and my baking area, I try to keep things sorted together. So I have all of my baking items together in one cabinet, and mine had gotten a little bit out of control. So the great thing about doing this, taking the time to create a system and organize a space, is when it comes time to rework it or revamp it, it takes just 15 minutes if you take the time in advance to do it. So I have all of my stuff out. Pull everything out of your cabinet, off your shelf, whatever you're doing, whether it be a baking section, or Karen and I talked about canned goods. Now's a great time to go through that and donate stuff if you need to. But take everything out, vacuum your space, get out your dust buster, vacuum, clean it. Make sure you're starting with a clean space. So pull everything out, and this allows you to see up on the counter where you can see it, allows you to see what you have. Go through and start there. So if you haven't done that, press pause. I think we talked about this.
Yes. Hit pause, because we did it in advance. I cleaned out my pantry. I also cleaned out 2 cabinets on this side of the kitchen. I don't know if you can see that. All the stuff's
good job.
Yeah, all the stuff's on the counter. Because these are spaces that I had not gotten to yet. But you can do a linen closet. You can do a medicine cabinet. You can do like Paige said, if your basement or your walk-in closet is really cluttered, this might not be the time to take that on, because this is heading into the holiday season. It's already a little chaotic maybe. But
yeah, tackle that in the winter when it's snowy and gross.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. We'll pick this back up in January when we have a little bit more time and space to tackle a bigger project. But for now, you're going to feel a huge win, a huge victory. And then when you go to bake, hopefully you've freed yourself up to experience a little bit more joy and gratitude. So I have pulled everything out, and I think we should just address really quickly too, as people can start to work. We're going to try to keep this video under 30 minutes. So we want you to be doing things, but you're probably going to continue on after the video ends as well. And know this, just like I hold you accountable for your nutrition and getting on your yoga mat, Paige will hold you accountable if you need some extra handheld, hand holding for the process. But it's just like anything, like fitness or nutrition or anything that you want to accomplish, you have to set out the time to do it, right? That's like step one. And since we're all warriors here, like just acknowledging that action is the thing. Like you just have to have that can do attitude and be like, I'm going to do this. And then when you do it, you're going to be so glad you did. So, all right. So I have everything pulled out. Where do we just go ahead and kind of start? Do we section things out, or what do you think?
Yeah. So once you have everything out and on the counter, group like items. So I would say, get all your flours together and all your sugars. And first things first, go through and look at expiration dates. If you have something that is expired, throw it out. If you have something that's opened and wasn't closed up properly, throw it out. I mean, get rid of stuff that you thought, oh, I really want to make this fantastic whatever, and I got this ingredient for it, and I'm never going to make it. So don't give yourself stress by looking at it every time you open the cabinet. Just get rid of it. Let it go.
Yeah. And like Paige mentioned, I actually grabbed this Trader Joe's bag. The food banks need food this time of year. So if there are things like that are not expired that you do want to donate, this is a wonderful time of year to do that. And that goes for your linen closet too. So you are going to do your linen closet. The rescue dogs love old yoga mats, and they love, old quilts and blankets and towels. Declutter those areas too, and you can donate those to a rescue. But I definitely have some things that have gluten in them that have sat in my cabinet for a long time that are long expired that I didn't even know existed. So
time to throw it out.
I know, time to go in the garbage. I already feel lighter.
So one of the things I really like to do, especially in the baking area, but this works for snacks too, is to get airtight containers. You can get them all sorts of different places. I love the OXO containers with the pop top that you guys have probably seen. They are pricey, so I recommend, you can find them at Home Goods a lot at really good prices. So start small if that's the route you want to go, and grab, one or two at a time. Or you can sometimes find great deals. Black Friday might be a great time to find a deal on a set of them. But something that you can use that can keep things airtight and the bugs and critters out of them. You can use mason jars if you have those on hand. The larger ones are great for things like cacao powder or coconut sugar or baking soda, that kind of thing. So use what you have, but if you also want to take the time to invest and start fresh, do that as well. Make sure things are labeled. I have a label maker, which I love, that I label things with. This is backwards, but you also can just write. I use sometimes dry erase markers will work right on top of the lids of these. Or just write it out on a Post-it note, stick it on there, and tape it on. It does not have to be fancy. So once you have basically edited and gotten rid of everything that you're not keeping, it's time to organize what you are keeping. And if you do use these containers, another one of my tips is, this is Pamela's gluten-free flour baking mix that I've used to make pancakes or waffles. I don't have the package anymore, so on a sticky note right here, I just write down the directions, so the ingredients and what you do, and stick it right on the container so that you can throw away the package. So yeah, use just start putting things back one at a time. I'm going to put all my flours back together, all my sugars in the same area. And then any sort of back stock, Karen and I were talking about this, about like if you have extra bags of flour that you're not using, you can store them in another location, or you can store them right behind, sort of make in the cabinet behind the container. You can put the extra flour or sugar that you couldn't fit in the container.
Yeah, I know for me, like I have a little pile right here that's going down to the basement to my overstock. I don't know if you can see it on the floor here. These things are all going to go downstairs into my basement, which I I organized that about a year ago, I guess. I reorganized the basement, like the overstock. And what a difference that make. I got like little cans holder things for the cans. And that made me feel so, first of all, it freed up space, and then it looked so much more organized. So I love, the effort that I put. That probably took me, like multiple hours to tackle that. But yeah.
I also like to use containers, or it can be like small boxes that you have to contain smaller stuff that kind of seems to roll around, like my extracts, all in a container, and baking chocolate, yeast, anything that doesn't kind of stay together very nicely. Group them together so that you can pull it out and it doesn't get lost or put behind something and forgotten about. If you can't see it, it's sort of like most things in life, out of sight, out of mind. If you can't see it, you're probably not going to use it. It's going to go bad before you realize it.
Yeah. You know what I just decided to do too? I've not done this before, but it just, something you said just gave me this light bulb moment. I am putting all of the gluten-free things, because my husband's not gluten-free, but I have a lot of gluten-free. So I'm going to keep all the gluten-free things on the left and all the gluten on the right.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because there's so much gluten products here that have been in there for so long, because he really likes gluten-free stuff too. He doesn't mind the gluten-free stuff, but so that's what we use more frequently since we can both eat it. But there's all this stuff with gluten that I literally didn't even know was in there. So now I'll see it better.
Another tip is if you don't live in the Baltimore area and you can't hire me, have a friend come over. I love to have my business partner, Amanda, whenever we have an area we need to get done, we help each other. Mm-hmm. We come over and grab tea or coffee or a mimosa, whatever you want to do, and do it together. You can chat, you can catch up, and you can help each other and take turns.
Yeah, because you probably
go to their house.
You have ideas
and help them,
right? Like she probably has ideas, and you have ideas for her that, that the other person wouldn't have thought of. Like, oh yeah, I'll do it that way.
Yes, and it's an accountability partner to make sure you get it done. Yeah. It's just sometimes hard to get yourself motivated to just do it. So if you have a friend there helping you, it makes it more bearable and more fun.
Yeah, and maybe if it's a closet situation, you can trade clothes too. Like what's old to you is new to them.
That's true. And, your bestie will be brutally honest if something looks good on you or not. And if it doesn't, get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that with my mom recently, actually. It was kind of funny. We were planning for her 80th birthday party, and she's not a shopper, which is where I got it. Like I'm not a shopper either, and she didn't want to go out and buy something new, so we did a little fashion show, and
nice.
Yeah, and so she pulled out some things, and there was one thing I was like, Mom, oh my goodness, like you gotta let that one go. Like that was like from the 80s with shoulder pads in it and that sort of thing. And then another one, it was older, but it looks so good on her, and it was a winner. And so it is fun to do that. And then we got rid of some things for her, and her, she lives in a little brick rancher and very small closets, so she doesn't have a lot of closet space. So that is one of my goals and intentions, to help her more. Like you're saying, like I'll go help my mom do this. We'll spend time together. Yeah. We'll feel productive, and it'll be good. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. My cabinet is doing so much better now. I know that my top shelf space. Oh my gosh, this I have brown sugar from probably the 90s.
Is it rock hard?
Hard as a rock. Yeah.
You can keep it and use it as self-defense if you have an intruder.
That's a good one. So my top shelf up here is a little, I am tall, but it is a little out of space. So I put my baking products up there just because I don't use them very frequently, although I will be for Christmas and Thanksgiving. But do you have any other thoughts on sort of reach spaces like that are a little, they're great spaces, but they're a little bit high or a little bit
hard to access? Yeah. One thing we like to use for that is longer bins. I can grab one. And then again, it doesn't have to be a beautiful acrylic bin. You could use a shoebox or an Amazon box, as long as it's labeled.
Yeah.
But this isn't the perfect example, but a long bin like this with a handle, you can stick up there and you can just grab the handle, pull it out, and then you can see what you have, use what you need, and then put it back.
Great.
But it's a great thing for deeper cabinets, or spaces up top like that you can't see, so stuff doesn't get lost behind, like we said, and be out of sight.
Yeah, it's almost like a drawer. It's like pulling out a drawer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because I have multiples of like all of these flowers and things, all of the variety. The coconut, I have coconut flour, cashew flour, lots of confectioner's sugar. And this is probably really old too. I've got to check the expiration on it.
Well, that's a great idea. You put yours in a zip top baggie. If you don't use airtight containers, put it in a zip top baggie.
Yeah,
but when you do that, write the expiration date on the bag so it's easy to spot, so you know when to get rid of it.
Paige, you're such a genius. I can't even see the expiration date. That's bad.
Because it's covered in flour or sugar.
It's covered in
right?
flour. Yeah.
So yeah, write it on the zip top baggie, or if you were using a bin, stick it on a Post-it note and on the bottom.
Yeah, I will do that. I'm going to keep this one set aside so I can dust it off. I don't want to make a mess right now, but if I just dust the flour off the bottom, I'm going to be able to see it. And then this sugar is going to go in a mason jar, but some of my mason jars were out in the garage, so I want to run them through the dishwasher first, but I'm going to keep that sitting out until I can get to that project.
Great. Yeah, I'm just about finished up. Like I said, when you have a system in place to start with, it makes things much easier and it goes much quicker. So if you can take the time ahead of time to tackle an area, the next time you do it, it'll go by fast like lightning.
Yeah. That I think we've probably been doing this for about 15 minutes or so. So hopefully people are feeling like they're just seeing that, it's like anything. You just carve out that time, you take the action, and you get, you get from where you are, like, which is for me, like this next one over here, this is a mess over here. And then, setting across that time and then just investing it, and then you're going to feel more productive, more peaceful, in the long run, right? That's the idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Put on your favorite, Christmas music and just
go at it.
Zone out and get it done.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I wanted to mention to everybody again, like arrayhomeorganization.com is the website. You can follow Paige on Instagram. We plan on at some point doing a little Instagram challenge too. Maybe in the new year. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And remember that all of the donations for this particular fundraiser are going to go to the rescue dogs. So Paige has 2 also. And so we both have families of 6 because she's got...
We do. That's true.
Got the 4 dogs. And you've got the 2 girls, the 2 dogs. And of course, we both have a husband. And so one of the things too, to just kind of bear in mind, and I think this carries over for all things, is like you can declutter and but maintaining all of this is challenging, right? With kids and with animals. Absolutely. And with husbands that have different brains, so all joking aside of getting rid of our kids and husbands and dogs. And
I always say the best way to keep your house perfectly clean is to get rid of your kids and your husband. And,
which nobody is just funny, but it's...
Yeah. If you have to keep them, I recommend attempting to get them on board. And, if you put these systems in place, they are easier to maintain. I was telling Karen earlier, like if you have a bin in your pantry of snacks for the kids to grab, they can open the lid themselves.
I'm going to go get with the doggies while you're
get the snack out. And the most important thing is they can close it up. You don't have to worry about them rolling up bags and putting clips on.
And they'll feel good about it then too. They'll feel like they're in part of it. And then maybe at a young age, they'll have an appreciation for the peace and joy that kind of comes with this whole yoga off the mat mindset of staying organized allows you to feel more productive and peaceful in your life, right? So I came outside real
Gosh,
quick.
that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I'm raising two extremely organized 5-year-olds.
I hope that they got at least one of them will. One of them's going to have, right, because they're identical twins, you guys. One of them will just, because I think it's something that you have. That's just your nature. You are very organized by nature. I am a declutter person by nature. I don't know why, but I just am. I just get a lot of joy out of that. I came outside to just introduce the doggies really quick, and Paige, if you can get with your doggies, because
Absolutely.
that's where, if you have ever gone to a shelter, or if you have a rescue dog, you know that they come in a little bit rough, right? And so spending the time and the energy is so rewarding. So come here, you guys. Come on, you want to come say hi? Come say hi. So this is my little friend Leo.
Hi.
That's Macy giving kisses. Bruno, Luna, and then we got Stelly over here. She's getting lost by Bruno. Everybody thinks they're getting treats. Stella. She's a girl.
Oh, and here's Harper.
Hi,
Right,
Harper.
cute.
Hi, buddy. Miss seeing you. Oh my gosh, he's a little gray face.
Yeah, he's my old man, but he's gonna live forever.
I know. I know. We have the same pact with Stella. So anyway, thank you so much, Paige. I hope everybody takes action and actually invests the time. And if you feel like it's overwhelming and if you feel like it's something that you can't accomplish on your own, feel free to reach out to Paige. She's amazing at helping people feel more organized and clutter-free.
I would love to help you.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll do this again. We'll, reconnect and do another challenge another time. But until then, you guys get in your pantries, declutter them, and enjoy your baking process this holiday season. Right. Okay.
Good luck.
Bye. Uh-oh, I can't see. You're about to leave. Leave studio and call for all.